Hi guys and welcome to a League of Legends Union for Gamers guide. My name is Adarkos and today I'm going to give you some tips to improve your farm, something you can do to train your farming. I'm not telling you how to farm, I'm giving you the tips to train your farm. In the description below you have a link to download a text file that I created that has these tips and the explanation for them. If for some reason I explain something not so good, or you just want to have a file to check up anytime you want, so feel free to download it in the description. But let's not lose any more time and jump into these 10 tips I prepared for you. Tip number 1. Use an empty rune page. I'm not telling you to use the empty rune page when you play a normal game or a ranked game. I'm telling you to use an empty rune page when you are training your farm in a custom game or against bots. This is because runes normally make it easier to farm, since most of the times you have attack damage or penetration runes. If you manage to get used to farm without these stats improvements, once you use them in a real game, it will only make it easier for you. And if you think of it, many of mid laners don't even use attack damage runes, so they got used to farm without extra attack damage, and they are able to do it anyway. So if you get used to farm without this help, you will only get better even with the runes. Tip number 2. Try to avoid using any skills while you train. From self-experience as a mid laner, I noticed that I got way too used to clear my waves using abilities. It may seem practical and easy at the start, but there are many downsides to it. The biggest downside is that it makes your ability to control your lane a lot harder, as the abilities mostly end up pushing your lane. Other than that, in many cases you may just not have the mana, or you just want to save your skills for other reasons, and this will prevent that from happening. In the end, getting used to use abilities to clear waves makes your brain used to work in a much bigger mistake margin, as even if you cannot last hit with your auto attack, well, there is no problem, I just use a skill. I believe it's very important to train your brain to last hit with ease and without the need of extra skills. That will also make it easier to keep up the high CS scores when you play other champions with less CSing friendly skills. Tip number 3. Don't attack all time, just last hit. The most common mistake of newer players is that they are always attacking the creeps. Don't do that. Get used to wait for the creep to be low HP and give it the killing blow. Attacking all the way in will only push your lane for no reason, and you end up actually missing more creeps than you should because of the delay between auto attacks. You should get used as well to 1. Just attack the creep to kill it. 2. Be always moving. Standing still in the lane is a bad habit, will make it easier for your enemy to hit you, and you won't get used to react fast enough and be an active player. Getting used to always be moving, used to the mouse control, the feel of the overall character moving flow is very important. This will lead to your improvement of micromanagement, as well as you'll get more accurate clicks and be used to do so. This in the future will help you to dodge, juke and outplay other players. And to end, you need to get used to the creeps' HP bars and the different stats. The melee minions, caster minions and siege minions, every of them have different stats, and the way you should kill them is a little bit different. Because the caster minions, for instance, die a lot easier than the siege tank minions. Even if the HP bar is around the same spot, maybe you'll kill a caster minion but not a siege cannon, so you need to learn the difference between the minions as well. Tip number 4. Create goals. If you are mostly getting around 40 creeps at 10 minutes in the game, maybe it's asking way too much to get 80 tomorrow. Or maybe you have a great creep score early in the game, but you fall off as the game continues. You may want to set a goal to get sustained creep score in the mid-late game. Find what you need to improve, set a goal inside reality, and once you reach that goal, set up a higher goal. A great place where you can set your goals and see how much creeps you can get in any given time is at the creep score calculator, and I leave the link to this calculator in the description, so feel free to use it. Tip number 5, pick the right champion. By picking the right champion, I mean either pick exactly the champion you want to improve with and get used to his mechanics and animations, since the attack animations change from champion to champion, some are more responsive than others, but that easier to farm with. Or you pick a champion that normally is really bad farming like LeBlanc or Cartus, and use them with only auto attacks, because if you manage to get good creep scores with champions that are pretty bad to last hit, using good champions to last hit will only make it easier for you. Tip number 6, create custom games, and this is where you use these previous tips, most likely. Many players in higher divisions did it, even the pro players did it, and all you need to do is to create a custom game and play on the map alone. Go to the mid lane and try to get the best creep score possible in any given time. I will never stay after the tower falls, and the best amount of time to do this is between 10 to 15 minutes each time. Use the previous tips, of course, only last hit, don't push the lane, avoid using skills, do it without runes, and take a note on how many CS you got in that time and try to beat that score the next time you go. Tip number 7, play against bots. Try to pick the higher difficulty bots and queue for a game. The reason why I suggest this is because of the fact that people don't take these games so seriously. And most likely there won't be any flame if you just want to improve your farm. Normally, playing a normal game brings up the pressure, and there is a lot of things you need to worry about, like ganks, objectives, Baron, Drake, team fight, who is fed, who is not, and because of that people may react badly for many different reasons and you won't be focused on improving your creep store. To avoid this and to make sure you can focus 100% on your creep score, playing against the computer is the best way to start. You will still have someone against you in the lane, your lane will still get pushed if you are in base or somewhere else. You may as well train the ability to control the lane. You will learn to choose when to fight in the lane, or just farm and get used to choose the best times to go back to base and lose the less CS possible. Tip number 8, create milestones. Having milestones to work towards and check how you're doing helps a lot on a daily basis and in every game. I have my own milestones and I strongly suggest everyone to have them as well. In my case, I put my milestones to at 15 minutes in the game I should have 100 to 110 CS. At 30 minutes in the game I should have around 250 CS. The good side of these milestones are that they are easy to remember, as they are only 2, but it will actually be better to have shorter period of time milestones, as for example 10 minutes, 20, 30 and 40 minutes milestones. In my case I will make mine look like this. In 10 minutes I should have 60 to 70 CS, in 20 minutes 150 to 160, 30 minutes 260 to 270 and 40 minutes 350 CS. Note that these milestones are not the best thing possible you can get. These ones are related to me. You should create your own milestones and improve them as you get better. This is great to simply be able to see how you are doing each game and know in what phase of the game you fall off in the farm. Tip number 9, easier results don't mean improvement. This is not actually a direct tip, yet something you should know in order to not fall in the illusion that you are doing the stuff right. Playing champions like Mordekaiser, Anivia, Cartus, Brand, Veigar, Ziggs or any other champion that clears farm really easily with skills don't mean you improvement in the CSing ability. Like mentioned before, if you get too used to abilities to farm, you may actually get worse at farming without them. When I played Orianna for a long time and I went back to Ahri in the mid lane, I noticed a huge fall on my creep score because I was way too used to use my ball with Orianna to kill every minion that I ended up missing a lot of creeps with my auto attacks when I played Ahri. And the last tip I'm going to give you, it's the number 10, it's that real games are the best. I know I told you to go custom and play against bots and you really should do it, but after a time, well, that is not going to be a challenge anymore and nothing is compared to a real game. So the final tip is to reach these goals in a real game. If you manage to get all creeps in custom, miss only 15 in a game against bots, aim to do the same in a real game. It will be harder, but if you don't get the results you expect early on, don't get dismotivated. Continue and train, as the real games are the best way and the best place to do it. Since there is a lot of things to be said about real games when it comes to your state of mind and that you are focused in many other things, but yes, the final improvement to be a great farmer, to be great at last hitting, comes from the experience in full and normal games. So guys, I hope this will help you. You already know you can subscribe to my channel clicking the subscription button, you know you want it, and you can click any of the other videos that are shown up to go. Remember that I left a file for you to download in the description and a link for the calculator. If you have any type of guide you will want to see, leave it under comment and I'll be glad to do it if I can. My name has been Zadarkos, and this video, my friend, was made for you.